Every year, billions of people celebrate New Year's Day. We check dates on our phones, we mark birthdays on calendars, we plan our future using months and years. But have you ever stopped and asked a strange question? Who invented the calendar? Thousands of years ago, there were no clocks, no watches, no calendars hanging on walls, no January, no February, no Monday, nothing. So how did ancient humans know when winter was coming? How did they know when to plant crops? And how did they figure out that an entire year had passed? The answer begins with something so simple that you still see it almost every night. The moon. Imagine you're living 20,000 years ago. There are no cities, no schools, no writing. You spend your days hunting animals and gathering food. At first, keeping track of time doesn't seem important. But slowly, humans begin noticing patterns. The sun rises every morning. It sets every evening. The seasons change. And above them, the moon changes shape. Night after night, it grows larger, then smaller, then disappears, then returns again. This cycle takes about 29 and a half days. Ancient humans may not have known the exact number, but they noticed the pattern. And that's where the first calendars were born. Not on paper, not on stone tablets, but inside the human mind. As human societies grew, tracking time became more important. People wanted to know when animals migrated, when rivers flooded, when fruits became available. The moon offered a simple solution. Every time a full moon appeared, people could count another month. In fact, some archaeologists believe that ancient humans carved marks into bones and sticks to track lunar cycles. One famous artifact discovered in Africa contains a series of carved notches that may be over 20,000 years old. Some researchers believe these marks were used to count days or lunar phases. Although we can never be completely sure, it suggests something fascinating. Humans may have started tracking time long before they invented writing. But there was a problem. A very big problem. A lunar month lasts about 29 and a half days. 12 lunar months equal around 354 days. But a solar year, the time Earth takes to orbit the sun, is about 365 days. That's an 11-day difference. At first, this doesn't seem like much, but every year, the gap gets bigger. Imagine celebrating summer festivals. A few years later, those same festivals happen in spring. A few decades later, they happen during winter. The calendar slowly drifts away from reality. For farmers, this was a disaster. Planting crops at the wrong time could mean starvation. Humans needed a better system. And the solution came from one of the world's greatest civilizations, ancient Egypt. More than 5,000 years ago, Egypt depended on the Nile River. Every year, the Nile flooded its banks. These floods brought rich soil that allowed crops to grow. Predicting the flood was extremely important. And Egyptian astronomers noticed something remarkable. Just before the flood arrived, a bright star called Sirius appeared in the morning sky. This event happened at nearly the same time every year. The Egyptians used this observation to create one of the world's earliest solar calendars. Their calendar had 365 days, 12 months, 30 days in each month, plus 5 extra days at the end of the year. For the first time in history, humans had a calendar based on the sun rather than the moon. It was a huge breakthrough. But It wasn't perfect. The Egyptian calendar assumed that a year was exactly 365 days long. But Earth actually takes about 365.25 days to orbit the Sun. That extra quarter day seems tiny, but over centuries, it causes major problems. The calendar slowly falls out of sync with the seasons. The same issue later affected another powerful civilization, the Romans. And fixing it would become one of history's most important projects. By the time of ancient Rome, calendars had become a mess. Roman leaders often changed calendar dates for political reasons. Some years were made longer, others shorter. People became confused. Even government officials struggled to keep track of time. Then, in 46 BCE, Julius Caesar decided enough was enough. He consulted astronomers and introduced a new system, the Julian calendar. This calendar used 365 days, and every 4 years, an extra day was added. A leap day. For the first time, a calendar closely matched Earth's journey around the Sun. The Julian calendar was one of the greatest scientific achievements of the ancient world. And it worked surprisingly well for over 1,600 years. But it still had a tiny mistake. Remember that extra quarter day? It isn't exactly 1 quarter. Earth's orbit actually takes about 365.2422 days. That small difference seems harmless. But year after year, century after century, the error grew. By the 1500s, the calendar was about 10 days off. Spring was arriving earlier than the calendar said it should. Religious holidays were drifting. Astronomers were frustrated. Something had to change. Again. In 1582, Pope Gregory XIII introduced a new calendar, the Gregorian calendar, the one most of the world still uses today. To fix the accumulated error, 10 days were removed. People literally went to bed on one date and woke up on another. The new calendar also changed leap year rules. Most years divisible by 4 remained leap years. But some century years would skip the leap day. This small adjustment made the calendar far more accurate. So accurate, in fact, that it only drifts by about 1 day every 3,000 years. An incredible achievement. Especially considering it was created centuries before computers existed. Today, nearly every country relies on the Gregorian calendar. It's built into our phones, our computers, our schools, our businesses. It's so normal that we rarely think about it. But every date you read carries thousands of years of human history. From prehistoric humans watching the moon, to Egyptian astronomers studying Sirius, to Roman emperors reforming time itself, to scientists refining the calendar again and again. The calendar wasn't invented by one person. It was built by countless generations, each one solving a piece of the puzzle.